Hey BookTube, this is Sonia from An Enthusiastic Reader, and today I'm doing the Strange Bookish Facts About Me tag. No one tagged me, I tagged myself, but I thought it was a great way to come up with more content about my bookish life. So here we go. Number one is I come from a family of readers. My grandfather on my mom's side loved to read. He was always reading a Western or some kind of political biography or some kind of history book. And he also liked to memorize the poetry of Robert Service and would recite it to us. So we heard all kinds of kind of harrowing Yukon poetry about the lives of explorers and gold miners in the Yukon through this poetry. And it was always fun when he would be in the mood to recite some poetry to us. And my mom was always also reading. I never saw her without a book going at some point or another. My dad also liked to read. We didn't live with him as much, but he read quite a bit and was always trying to force Mark Twain on me for some reason. I would always kind of resist reading those, but he liked to read too. Number two is that we were allowed to read anything we wanted and no one ever was policing the kinds of books we were reading. My mom would bring in all kinds of books from the grocery store, other places, and we would get books for Christmas, and she would, and that we could read anything. So I was always reading Stephen King or feminist fiction like The Women's Room by Marilyn French or something. Probably didn't understand half of what I was reading when I was a teen, but I think that exposure was good for me. It made me the reader I am today. And when I had my own daughters, I did not police what they read either. I let them read whatever they wanted, even if I knew it was beyond their maturity level. And for better or for worse, I still stand by that decision. Number three, I am an early adopter of technology, so when I heard about the Kindle, I was very excited and couldn't wait to get my hands on the first generation. I do read print books too, but I'm finding that as I'm getting older, the Kindle is easier for me. I like to be able to look up definitions of words whenever I want to. I love that feature. And I also find the highlighting feature really helpful when I'm trying to mark something as I'm reading it, and then I pull up my Kindle account on my computer and I'm able to see a digest of all of those notes that I made as I was reading and just see them all together, and it's really helpful to me. So yay, technology. Number four, I really like books about industries, like books about academia, like novels set in college English departments or in the publishing industry, or I like books about writers and writers getting together and gossiping and fighting. I love that. Anytime I don't know about an industry or I do know something about it, I like books about that topic. Number five, my undergraduate degree is in English literature with an emphasis on writing. And then I got a master's degree in a program that doesn't really exist anymore called Digital Media Studies, which was an interdisciplinary degree from the art department, the communications department, and the computer sciences. So I learned a little coding, I learned a lot about art and using art technology like Illustrator and InDesign and Photoshop. The coding I learned was Flash. I was not a good coder. I did not like doing it at all, but I did feel a sense of accomplishment that I was able to do a little bit in coding. And then I also learned from the communications department about theorists like Walter Ong and phenomenology in reading and technology and how important the text is. So I was really glad to get that degree. I made a lot of friends and I think I took a lot out of it, even though it was a really short-lived. We started school on September 10th, 2001, and so September 11th happened on our second day of graduate school, and I think it left all of us kind of wondering what the future held, and we still are wondering to this day. Number six, after graduate school, I started a small press publishing company with a friend. We didn't have any experience, we didn't have any mentors. We had a love for books and publishing, so we tried it. It lasted a few years. We had some really good successes and very high highs, and then some pretty low lows when things were not working out for several reasons. But I do have friends that I published, that I made during that time, and that we published, and we did win a few Colorado Book Awards, and there were a lot of victories. And I did learn through multiple experiences how to be a better designer. So it was worthwhile. It was very painful, but it was also something I'll always cherish that I was able to do. And number 7, so after the demise of that partnership and that press, I still continue to this day to design books, mostly for self-published authors locally and for a couple of literary organizations. We have the Lighthouse Writers Workshop, and they have a couple of anthologies they put out every year from a youth outreach program and a community outreach program. So I'm instrumental in that part of the publication of those books. And also for a state university, they have a literary anthology that they put out through their publishing certificate that I help with. So I have a few things that are ongoing, and then I work with individual authors for various projects. I really love doing that on a small scale, and I think I've developed, or I was able to help create some good-looking books. Number 8, BookTube is not the first online bookish community I've been a part of. Back in the 90s, AOL had a series of chat rooms you may have heard of or participated in, and one was called Bookshelf. And I made a lot of friends in Bookshelf. We had a lot of great conversations, very silly. There were marriages that happened and divorces and babies born and a few people dying. It was a very tight-knit community, but also we fought all the time about various things. There were huge upheavals and drama in Bookshelf too. So it's one of the most fun times that I have ever had online, or just as a part of a group of people. Number 9, I volunteer at my local library and help shelve books on Monday afternoons. So I'll be uploading this video and then off to shelve some books for a while. I find it fun to just see the patrons and see what the library has to offer. I'm often shelving children's books, and I like listening to the little kids in this kids section doing pretend with each other, and then the mothers sitting all around and nursing their babies and chatting with each other as their kids are playing and they're reading to their kids. It's just fun to be on the periphery of that, since I don't have kids at home anymore and won't again. The 10th bookish fact about me is that I am a mood reader. I do have to structure my reading because of my various commitments with book clubs and potential buddy reads in the future. But I do like to read based on, boy, I really need a mystery right now, or boy, I really need a classic. That is just true about me. So those are 10 bookish facts about me. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.